See, I think that's what the government's going to do. They're not going to go after the coins. They're going to go after your ability to sell the coins. And then you're going to be subject to holding it while they go through regulation. And because you can't get rid of it, they're going to know everybody that has it, number one. Number two.
I know Bitcoin and crypto has had kind of a wild ride lately. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the crypto space, especially Bitcoin. I saw there was like a 10,000 point swing or $10,000 swing yesterday, which is just unbelievable, the volatility of crypto. And I know El Salvador made it its legal tender last year, but I wanted to share this. Little meme that Sodi had sent over. So it says, if you look on the screen, somehow both the smartest and dumbest people I know are all in on crypto. Like it's basically either PhDs or kids that sold pot in high school, right? I mean, you think about like the whole, Reddit and pushing all the GME and the AMC, and I know that's driving a lot of the crypto. And then you got this little graphic here of, basically all the, high school potheads and all the PhDs over here, and just everybody in the middle, like their head's gonna explode, right? And getting angry about it. I just thought that was really funny, but it's been a heck of a ride. So I just wanted to hear, what you guys think about crypto. Stody, what are you hearing about crypto these days?
Right. So again, it's been a phenomenal, they've had a great summer. I think a lot of people talk about the year-to-date returns of Bitcoin versus the S&P, and I believe it has outperformed, which is great. And I think the whole swing flash crash that we saw yesterday, again, going back to that meme, people on both ends of the tail, that either be, just young people or actual professionals, they're both buying those dips. They're both looking at those as opportunities. And I'm sure there were people that got in, around $45,000, $50,000 right when it was hitting the peak in the middle. And then yesterday they must be crying, and they must have been just selling and just screaming and cussing everybody else out that, it was someone else's fault. So I think cryptocurrency is a great example of human emotion when it comes to trading and investing. You see it so much that people keep waiting and waiting and waiting, and then end up buying, and when it drops, then they freak out and sell, and then they watch it go back up. It's human emotion 101 in the world of investing and trading. So I think that's kind of funny to see. We've always talked about it. I know we've had Spencer on the show as well a couple times. I think there are people who understand that cryptocurrency is the future, so that's all they're invested in. Then there are also people who use it as a hedge to their other investments. I think those both are great approaches. It works differently for everyone. But as a price action, again, I don't think Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies are anything that are going to slow down right now. Yes, we may see dips like this throughout the market, whether it be the equities market, cryptocurrencies, or whatever. But I don't think we see this slowing down, at least in the short term, that the market continues to run. So if you're long term, again, this is not investment advice or anything, but all from what I've known, what I've seen, everybody just treats these flash crashes as major buying opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. And Brad, Nick, are you guys in the crypto space much, or what are your thoughts on that?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think that I would have to tell you that there are no fundamentals around cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is gambling. It is not investing. Anything where you can have Kim Kardashian or somebody, or you get Musk or somebody pops off a comment, and the next thing you know, you're making millions of dollars. It's not a real thing. You live with the sword, you die with the sword. And I agree that it's probably here to stay. I also agree that it's going to be a completely different narrative. There's a lot of countries that want to create their own coin. When they start doing that, it'll probably replace the dollar. And then I think cryptocurrency, in my opinion, and I don't know what that's worth, but I think that cryptocurrency is going to be an intrinsic kind of thing out there. But what people are looking for a hedge or this, that, and the other, I get what they're saying. but it's not backed by anything. And you could say the dollar's not backed by anything, but it is different. I mean, I think that Stoney could probably tell you that it's different, although I would have to agree it's going to be here to stay. So, you just gotta put that in a perspective. But this is the problem that I'm seeing is when your portfolio, what I am mainly seeing from potential clients that contact us, all their money is in crypto. Not that it's a part of a portfolio, not that it's being used as a hedge, not that a percentage is. They've got $30,000 that they've invested that's now worth $1 million, and all of their money is in crypto. They didn't take any of it out and put it in any other asset class, and that is not wise. So from that perspective, I would tell you, sure, if you want a little bit or make it a part of your portfolio, make it a small part. But these people are living and dying with it, and you live and die with the sword. That's all you got to understand.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I talk to a lot of people, and it seems to be like that, 80% of the time, where they're either all in and got everything in there, or they're just like on the sidelines kind of watching and, maybe buy something here or there, once every 6 months. You have a very few people that seem to have a nice balanced portfolio of, the crypto mixed in a little bit along with the rest of their overall investment portfolio. I've said for a long time, I mean, I think personally, I think it's a great strategy to get into crypto, but do it within a retirement account inside of a self-directed IRA where you're buying it for the long term, where you're buying it and just letting it ride, and then in 20, 30 years, if you're younger, or 10 years, or depending on where you are in retirement planning. But, if it does take off or it does catch on or things continue to rise, you'll have a nice little chunk right there. And I think Spencer said it best. Spencer Montgomery does all of our crypto training for our money school and money multiplier students. And he will be on our upcoming virtual 3-day money school essentials training that we have coming up October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So if you're not registered for that, make sure you register and hear what Spencer has to say about crypto. He does a fantastic job explaining it, but it's one of those things where I think you're in it for the long term, or you really learn how to trade it. You learn how to get in and out. You learn how to get in on the dips. I mean, Chris and I, for a while there, when it was trading between 30 and 40, just kept going back. We'd sell when it hit 40. We'd buy when it hit 30. We'd sell when it hit 40. We'd buy when it hit 30. Now it's up. We're kind of watching. Where's the next 10,000 point little, 3 to 6 months going to be, and kind of trade within that again. So there's different strategies. It just depends on what your risk level is, what your overall goal is. I do think we're going to run into a lot of growing pains as crypto catches on more and more. Is it Bitcoin that goes? I talked to a guy the other day that owns a lot of a coin called Cardano, which is created by the guy that created Ethereum, left and started this Cardano coin. And he's got tens of millions of dollars now. He bought it when it was very cheap, and it's now worth like $3 a coin. He's got millions of coins, and he's got millions. So it's just, there's different ideas. And he's a firm believer that this is going to go to $13 a coin. So who knows, right? But I think the bottom line is there is opportunity there, but you do have to be very careful. And I think we're going to run into a lot of growing pains as it is adopted, because I'll give you 2 examples. El Salvador made it the legal tender this week, right? In the country of El Salvador, the first country to adopt Bitcoin as its legal tender. But what happened to Bitcoin yesterday? It fell 10,000 points. So why is that? You would think if a country adopted it and they're now using it, that would encourage more Bitcoin, right? So why is it falling when that happens? I have no idea. I'm sure somebody on here probably does know. I want to share one other example real fast that I just thought was interesting. I saw this come out this morning. So Coinbase shares fall after it reveals SEC plans to sue over interest earning product. So Coinbase is a publicly traded company. If you're buying and selling crypto, odds are you know what Coinbase is. I think it's probably one of the widest and most adopted trading platforms for crypto. So they came out and said Coinbase has received notice of a possible enforcement action from the SEC. The cryptocurrency exchange and services firm received a Wells notice from the SEC last Wednesday saying the regulator intends to sue Coinbase over the product. So now Coinbase is coming back out and letting people know about this. And it looks like they might countersue the SEC. So who knows what's going to go on there. But from my knowledge of the SEC, that could get pretty ugly, And so if we have the largest cryptocurrency trading platform in the country now getting sued by the SEC, why is that happening?
There's a couple of things that can happen, Stephen, right? And Stoney can tell you the SEC can put a halt on all trading until it figures it out. That means if you have your money locked in, but you don't have a platform to sell it on, and then the market's getting whacked, you're subject to the volatility without an exit strategy, right? Because there's the platform. See, I think that's what the government's going to do. They're not going to go after the coins. They're going to go after your ability to sell the coins. And then you're going to be subject to holding it while they go through regulation. And because you can't get rid of it, they're going to know everybody that has it, number one. Number two, part of what we're going to do at this event, the 12th through the 14th at the Palazzo in Las Vegas, is that we're going to say, show people crypto is property. We're going to show people how you can buy and sell cryptocurrency without paying capital gains legally, IRS approved. So if you are going to do an investment, why invest in anything taxed if you can do those same investments tax-free? That's going to help you, at least if you drop value or something were to happen, your exit strategy. But it just makes sense. So I'm curious kind of what Stoney thinks is going to happen with the regulation coming up.
Yeah, and Chris is chiming in on Facebook. Chris Naugle, this is his show. Chris says SEC is a beast that they don't want to mess with. I saw this coming. Yeah, absolutely. And so, did you want to add anything to that about the regulation?
No, I agree. Again, like I said, crypto is not really my space, so I'm not as familiar as Spencer and some other guys with it. But when it comes to publicly traded companies, that is something that you want to be careful with, especially if there is SEC suing them, or if they countersue them. Whatever happens there, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to go down easy. It's not going to be something you just kind of sells in a day. And I think if this brings about volatility, this may shake out people. This may not. This may bring conviction. Again, volatility, can really go either of two ways. Like, it can really cause some really dramatic losses, or it can bring about opportunities that people have never really fathomed. And all of a sudden, because of this, Bitcoin can shoot up. For me, this is literally like a coin toss. And you said about it being a gamble. So literally, it is a coin toss here for me. But I'm sure there are other people like Spencer who could give us more fundamental information on this.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'll say is regulation is coming. I mean, it's here to stay. This is another article I shared with our private money school MSTV Facebook group yesterday. But this was from a community bank that says, as your community bank, we want our customers to know the facts, especially when it relates to concerning developments around public policy that expresses your financial privacy. So I want to hear everyone's opinion on this. So post in the comments. Let me read what's going on here. The Biden administration has proposed requiring all community banks and other financial institutions to report to the IRS on all deposits and withdrawals through business and personal accounts worth more than $600, regardless of tax liability. They say this indiscriminate comprehensive bank account reporting to the IRS can soon be enacted in Congress and will create an unacceptable invasion of privacy for our customers. So what do you guys think about now banking, community banks and other banking institutions being required to report all withdrawals and deposits of amounts over $600? What do you guys think about that?
I think it's going to bring about an opportunity for private banking or another category that we haven't. Maybe it's just going to be a vault, like online vaults where you hold your money, and even if it doesn't pay you an interest, it just holds your money so that you have privacy and you can run a debit card through there. I'm giving some future entrepreneur an idea here, so listen up. But if I wanted to find something, I would want something that I could do with my retina or a finger scan or whatever. I could enter in through a series of passcodes or whatever, but I get into a back-end system that has an online portal through a cloud, and I just store my money in an online vault, and then I direct it to wherever I want, and I don't have to deal with it. It's not a bank. It's just a money warehouse. So I just gave everybody a bunch of ideas for future millionaires, so just remember where it came from. But yeah, I think that's going to be the future, is an alternative. Let the markets figure it out. Markets always figure out a way around regulation or things like that are not, and I don't mean just real regulation that we need. I'm talking about overbearing regulation that's unnecessary, and I believe that's what this is.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Chris Naugle just commented on Facebook, complete bullshit. Take away capitalism one law at a time. Lynn Green says, so what does that mean for my little $200? I think it's in Coinbase. Yeah, Lynn, don't worry about Coinbase. They'll handle their own lawsuits. Your money's fine inside your Coinbase account, I would say. Chris Naugle says, no one is looking or asking about my cash value, just saying it might be time to start taking back control of your money and become the bank. Warehouse your own capital. Love it. So Chris Naugle's talking about what we talk about all the time, which is solving your money problem and taking back control of your financial future and your money. And the way we do that is by eliminating banks, actually. So we practice something called becoming your own banker. And what we do is we design and create privatized banks for individuals. Anybody can do this, not only for the wealthy any longer. What we do is we create these privatized banks and we start eliminating the use of banks because these things are just getting more and more and more regulated. So it's time to start really learning, hey, what is going out there? Why are all these regulations being put in place? Why are they trying to take away all of your freedoms and privacy? And let's start fighting back. And we can do that by simply, where is our money held? If our money is not at a bank, the bank can no longer use our money to make 400 to 1,200% on our money while paying us 0.0001% in our accounts. It's a freaking joke, man. So it's time to take back control of that money and start creating your own privatized banks. And
there's another thing, Stephen, just to give you an idea. You know, you have what they're going to call moral investing. I'm starting to hear it. Okay. Whether you're on the right side of things or the left side of things, whether you're red or blue, when you put money and you give it to the IRS, that money goes into the government. And the government is using your money, chances are, towards things that you don't want it to go to. I don't care which side of the political spectrum you're on, okay? Whether you're left or right. Chances are the government is using your money towards things that you do not want to have it used for. The best way to make sure that your money is not used for things that you don't want is to safe harbor your cash and create non-taxable events where they don't get it. So if you use these products that we offer, where you can put it in there and it acts just like a glorified checking account, but it pays you actually a return, and you have tax-free returns on those investments, you don't have to worry about it funding something that you don't believe in. Now you get to control your money going into things that you believe in and putting your money into vehicles that will prevent that from happening. And I think that's the future of investments. Everybody is so opinionated. Let your money do the talking. If you don't want it going towards things, this product is the only product for you where you want to put it in, and you have full control of your cash, and you can use it just like a glorified checking account, but you don't have to worry about your cash going into places that you don't want it to go.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Very, very well said there. And financial education is the name of the game there. This stuff is not hard. It's not complicated. You don't have to have an MBA. You don't have to be a doctor to understand. Financial education is a lot of times very simple. It's just following what the successful, wealthy people do. It's following what the banks do. I mean, it's following the strategy and just implementing it in your personal life. And a lot of times by changing one thing, it can change everything for you moving forward. So very well said. I love what you guys are saying about using your money to do the talking for you. Absolutely. So just kind of changing subjects a little bit here. Since I got a couple guys from Las Vegas with me, I wanted to get your opinion on this, Brad and Nick. So this was from Bloomberg. They say Wynn taps Shaquille O'Neal and Ben Affleck in $100 million push for sports betting app. So I know sports betting is becoming more and more of a thing. I know it's on the ballot here in Florida. They're trying to make it legal. What do you guys think about sports betting going online like this legally and around the country?
I work too hard for my money, you know. Vegas wasn't built off the winners, okay? That's all I can say and leave it at that. I mean, yeah, you can come up. I mean, it was what? Fox is on one of them for MGM. Now you got this. All it is another pea in a pod. It's just who can be the best celebrity for the betting thing. And I think they're distracting you, you know, because the thing that I don't like about it, it's like, well, if they do it, it must be safe because you're hearing about all these stories about Shaq's a good investor. Shaq might put his face on it. He might never put a nickel with it. So, you know, at the end of the day, you're not buying Shaq. You're not buying success. Just understand you're betting. you're gambling. It's not an investment. It's gambling. And it doesn't matter whose face on it. If you pick the wrong team, you pick the wrong spread, you're going to be the one without a chair when the music stops. That's all that matters. You're going to lose. So,
but it's also expanding the betting. You mentioned online. Vegas usually didn't have sports teams, and now we have the Raiders, we have the hockey, and you can go at the stadium and bet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's the craziest thing.
They were so worried about an athlete getting touched that they would get bribed or something and throw a game, and yet now they're in the stadium. You know what I mean? It's like it's right there. So I mean that all went out the door. But I think this changes the narrative. They're just making it easier and easier and easier for people to put their money at jeopardy. And there's nothing wrong. If you like it, go do it. But just understand, gambling is not investing, right? So,
right, yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny. It goes in with the Bitcoin. What would you say is a riskier bet? Picking Thursday night's football game, picking a parlay on Sunday, or buying Bitcoin today?
Well, you can do research on a team, right? Who's hurt? What's the matchups, right? Somebody taller than somebody as a receiver, or a certain pitcher, or whatever it is, or somebody's on a hot streak. You have no clue what's going on with Bitcoin. You have no clue. I mean, what moves it? I don't know. Right. I mean, somebody could get a burr up their rear and to want to do something. I don't know, but at least I can do some homework on a team, right? I mean, that's my come out.
Just having some fun with it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the fact that the Win is throwing $100 million at a couple celebrities to promote it this football season should tell you everything you need to know about the money that's in gambling, right? Like you said, Vegas wasn't built off the backs of the middle class, or it was in an indirect way, right?
All right, if you like that video, make sure you check out this video right now. And also don't forget, subscribe to my channel, and don't ever forget to smash that alert button. We'll see you on the next one.